Hi there, we are Team 3 and we did our community project at Freedom for Youth here in Des Moines, Iowa. Some history behind Freedom for Youth. It started with a gentleman named Mark Nelson, and he started reading articles about the homeless teen population around the Des Moines area. He recognized there was a need for that. He started visiting people who lived under bridges and in poverty-stricken areas in Des Moines. After realizing there was a need for this, he started getting finances and donations coming in to start a new building downtown where some of these homeless people could come and learn about the teachings of Jesus and just kind of a safe place for them to go. In 2007, he got enough finances to start new renovations for this project. In 2007, they launched elementary programs, middle and high school programs as well. Included in these specialized programs, they have woodworking areas, they have specialized employment training, they have welding, auto mechanics, art, culinary training, computers, worship, and large group activities. In 2013, they launched a building right next to their main building here in Des Moines on Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway, Freedom Blend Coffee. And that seems to be a booming business. That's a full-service coffee business that empowers youth and young adults through Christ-centered employment training. Freedom for Youth mission statement, which they stand firmly by, is Freedom for Youth Ministries empowers youth across Iowa through the love of Jesus Christ to break bondages, discover their God-given talents, and lead transformed lives. Some of the social issues that this helps, these programs are designed to give young people skills that cannot be taken away. They help kids stay in school. They prepare for purposeful employment, and they develop meaningful relationships and education in places they would not get that anywhere else. The programs offered through Freedom for Youth are the Whiz Kids program, and that is elementary age children. The middle school program is called Discovery, and the high school program is called Journey. So they are all split up between different age groups for that, for specialized learning. Some of the personal experiences that I had at my time at Freedom for Youth, my schedule wouldn't allow me to work directly with the children, so I did more administrative and clerical work for them. I entered a lot of new student data into their system. For kids that go to the Des Moines campus, the Pella campus, and kind of all over. So I input all of their information so they have that in their system. I created an Amazon wish list for their library where people can buy those books on Amazon and donate that to their organization. I also worked on putting together games for them, and that included making lots of paper copies, putting page protectors on them, laminating them, and separating those out to go to the different locations for those specialized programs. If I had more flexible time, I would like to work with the Whiz Kids program specifically. And I also plan to do my volunteering there after I graduate at the end of this week. So that's something I would like to continue to do, and I've talked with them about moving forward with that process as well. Ivy, since you work directly with the Whiz Kids program, can you tell us more about the specifics of your time there and how it was utilized at Freedom for Youth?
There we go. As Mallory had said, the programs that they offer there are split into 3 different groups, and it would be Whiz Kids, which is K through 5, Discovery, which is grades 6 through 8, and then Journey's more of the high school. I work directly with the Whiz Kids, and we usually started out the day with about 15 to 20 kids after school, which would be different crafts and activities. which could go from, say, painting. We had about 3 different weeks that we did crocheting, which is a little bit more difficult for them, but they did enjoy it. And we also did make friendship bracelets and things like that. After their crafts and activities, they usually went into reading, and they were assigned different appropriate level books. And whether it was the younger kids reading to us or some of the older kids would read on their own, they'd spend about 20 to 30 minutes just kind of reading books of their choice. After this, we transitioned into their Bible study, which we would break up into groups that we were assigned, and we would read their Bible passages and then do activities that correspond with their Bible lesson that day, which were usually fun activities that kind of got them up and active into the rooms, sometimes split into different buildings, things like that. And then to end their day, different organizations would bring in supper for the kids, and we would all sit in our groups, and then afterwards the kids helped to clean up and just kind of learned a lot of different respect things like that that went along with their time at Freedom. The Discovery Kids, which were the grades 6 through 8, did their Bible lessons, usually did a worship and small group discussions. And then the Journey, otherwise the high school group, did a lot more job training and learned a lot more about trade jobs and looked much more into their future goals. Overall, I think that this went great for all of us. We all learned about God more, and whether it was with the kids or making the activities for the kids in the offices, kind of as they learned, we were learning too. And a lot of this happened because we utilized the objectives that we came up with, which was listening and leadership skills. If we wouldn't have used these, we probably wouldn't have gotten as far as we did and as successful as we did. For the listening, I mean, we had to be able to listen to the children, teach them listening, things like that, so then we're able to communicate messages, and so that they're able to learn and we're able to learn along with them. And then leadership skills, they're looking for someone to look up to. Like I was with Wiz Kids, which means there are a lot of younger kids. They're kind of looking for a direction to go. They're looking for a leader or a mentor that's going to help them kind of through the day, through their lessons, even though they were very knowledgeable about the things that they were learning. One of the experiences that I wanted to share was we did do an Easter egg hunt for the children, which was fun, and they each had a paper, and they had to find each color of egg, and each egg did stand for something. So red, and they made that into kind of a poem for them, and then after the Easter egg hunt, they kind of learned what they were each about, and most of them did a really good job of memorizing the poem. The poem that they had was: red is for the blood he gave, green is for all he made, yellow is for the sun so bright, black is for the edge of night, orange is for the sins we made, white is for the grace he gave, purple is for his time of sorrow, and pink is for a new tomorrow. Being that we each only had about 15 hours at Freedom, Shannon will elaborate kind of on some of the ideas we had for the directions of the future that could help out Freedom for Youth.
Okay. So with extended time and additional resources, we would like to focus on social issues that affect our youth: alcohol and drug abuse, bullying, peer pressure, diversity, poverty, health and nutrition, sexuality, relationships, and community behavior. The ideas that we had in mind were staff and volunteers would lead classes and group discussions directly focusing on those social issues. Student check-ins, so whether they be weekly or monthly, but staff or a volunteer would sit down with each student individually and just kind of follow up with them, check in, see how they're doing. Also, these mentor programs would include scenario role plays, games, and other ways to develop our youth. We also focused on Greenleaf's 10 principles of servant leadership. And also some of us had the opportunity to participate in the Riverbend excursion, which increased our awareness of the underserved communities right here in Central Iowa. The most important characteristics that Team 3 that we had was listening, empathy, and awareness, also self-awareness. In order to best serve freedom of youth, we had to utilize all 10 of the characteristics, but especially listening, because if you are not able to listen and understand others, there's no way you would be able to understand their needs or lead them. My experience at Freedom of Youth, I directly worked with Jessica Evans. Due to scheduling, I was unable to work directly with the kids, but I did complete administrative work, putting together games and learning activities, and also doing data entry. Okay, and then also leaders from our past that we focused on this semester. Mallory and I did our biopic on Rosa Parks, and then Ivy completed hers on Martin Luther King. Both of these leaders did selfless acts for the greater good of their communities. Both demonstrated growth of people and community building. And then life as a servant leadership, I'd say personally, we were made self-aware of our strengths and weaknesses as a servant leader, and we were able to improve our personal relationships by listening to others. Professionally and our civic duties, we improved our growth of people and building a community. Also by listening, we were able to be aware of the needs of others. And do we have any statements that anybody would like to say at the end about how the semester went? Okay, alrighty. Well, thank you, Dr. Joe, for this opportunity. I think we all enjoyed our time at Freedom of Youth. And I'd like to thank especially Jessica Evans. She was really flexible with me and my time. So you also have anything to say?
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. And I will for sure use this going forward in my life, and putting what I learned for being a servant leader on my daughter's life as well.
Yes, thank you. And I definitely think we learned a lot from Freedom for Youth, and a lot of the lessons we learned we're going to use later on in life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.